today was the autumn budget, and today we'll be covering our initial reactions for private clients. So Kelly, I know you look after a lot of clients who are within the non-dom area. What did you see today from the autumn budget?
We were expecting some changes, and I think that they have come through. So Rachel announced an abolition of the non-dom regime, which was the ability to claim the remittance basis and effectively not pay tax on your foreign assets. That will now cease, and we're looking at a 4-year FIG scheme, a foreign income and gain scheme, where you can effectively come to the UK and not pay income tax or capital gains tax on foreign income and gains for that 4-year period, but after that you will be firmly within the net for income tax and capital gains tax. We also saw some changes to the trust regime, so those that have offshore trusts that have become domiciled in the UK will now need to review their structures to ensure that they are sufficient and look at possibly leaving the UK or unwinding the structures.
Okay, so there weren't too many surprises today.
I think no surprises in the sort of headlines of what we've seen, but having spent some time now looking at some of the detail, there are some complications. That there are a few opportunities, but the actual proposals are much more complicated than we anticipated.
And I know as a team we're going through those documents as we speak, isn't it, to get into the detail on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Alex, I know you look after a lot of private equity executives, and you've already had quite a few calls come through. So how did you feel about the budget for your client base?
Yeah, so I think just generally, as was heavily trailed, the CGT rates have gone up to 18 and 24%. And currently for private equity executives where they have carried interest, that's not income-based carried interest, that was still at the 28% rate, but going up to 32% from next April. We did know that the government had announced previously they were going to be looking at that, so we knew that something was going to be on the cards. They're also going to have issued a consultation ending in January for some fairly far-reaching changes to how we tax carry from the following April, so from April 2026. The positive on that being that we actually give us quite a long time to get ahead of those rules and kind of work out what the detail is before they come in.
I suppose the 32% rate was probably a better result than might have been expected.
Yeah, I think so. I think it could have been up to the full income tax rate. So looking at that side, it was better than it could have been.
I think that's the message just all around at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. So on the Malli, so that's on the CGT. How about for business owners and entrepreneurs with regards to CGT?
Yeah, so for entrepreneurs, I think they're the ones that took the biggest hit from this budget. It was there's quite a lot of impact for them. So I think primarily I'll come on to CGT in a second, but from employer social security, that's increased to 15% from 13.8%, along with a reduction in the threshold by almost 50% from 9,100 to 5,000. That's going to have a major impact on probably the hiring decisions for a lot of businesses. And then sort of coming on to CGT, absolutely. I mean, this was something that's been trailed for a while. We were looking at rates going from 33 to 39%. Fortunately, it was 24%. So I don't know if that was just expectation management by the government, but I think that's probably a better result than expected. Unfortunately, that rate has been effective from today, rather than trailing it to the beginning of the new tax year, which I think they've sort of missed a beat on that, because people would have planned and crystallised far more gains probably by April, which is what's typically happened when you've sort of introduced a rate like that. One of the sort of silver linings, if you want to call it that, is business asset disposal relief, or the old school sort of entrepreneurs relief. That still remains, along with investors relief. Although with investors relief, that rate's dropped down, that sort of lifetime limits dropped down from 10 million to 1 million. They are increasing that rate from 10% to I think 14% from April 25, and then to 18% to take it up to the CGT rate from April 26. So all in all, a real tough message, I think, being given to business owners. But I think that's That's understandable given what they're trying to do, which is obviously trying to raise that 40 billion to try and shore up the UK finances and fund things like schools and the NHS. So all in all, I think tough message for everybody. Things that could have been worse, but I think for business owners, it's been a bit of a tough message for them. Thank you so much, Kelly and Alex, for your insights. And if you'd like to know more about how the budget affects you, then please look at our website.